But the only disadvantage to having this throat tattoo that I have generally realised is throughout the summer, oh my god, the public are arseholes. Like
The 1975, you know that generic TikTok pop?
yeah.
Best rock band.
People that are like, is that a frog or is that a snake? Oh, I don't know, that pissed me off. It's just a monster. It's just a monster.
Hello, welcome back to another Shamble Rambles podcast. Yes, we're not in our usual setting. There's only the two of us. But it's an impromptu one and the cellar's full of fucking spiders, so fuck that.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
The question that we always start off with, how's life?
So as you know, full-time work now, so that's long. Kind of, not struggling as such, but I think everyone relates to this. As you get older, like, it hits you, and then you end up going through like some sort of life crisis where you're like, oh shit, you're nearly this age, and then you've got this to do, but at the same time you are still young. I'm 19, literally 20 in like less than 2 months. And like the other day I was just like, fuck, in 10 years I'm 30, then I'm 40, and then it's just like, what the fuck have I actually done with my life?
No, I got that when I was 20. I was just like, fuck. I remember putting it on my story. I was like, fuck, I am half of 40.
Yeah, no, my mum reminds me,
And
like,
it's
my
flown by.
mum's like, what, 43 next week, and it's like, I'm 20, and like, she's like 23 years older than me. Like, that's weirdly scary. Because I feel like as you get older, and obviously as you are working, especially when you're full time, you're like, oh shit, like, think about it, bro. It's like, in 3 months, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel that long. We did the Christmas podcast.
No, bro, years are going by. Think the Christmas podcast, next year will be the 3rd year.
Yeah.
Like,
and I remember watching your one on that that Christmas occasion. It's really scary, but at the same time, it's good.
But when you think about it, a lot has happened in that time, and yeah, a lot happens. Like, we don't get to do these very often because we are busy, and it's rare that like most of us are free on the same day. A lot happens even between podcasts. Like, what was the last one we did? You, me, Harry.
Yeah.
And bro, that feels like ages ago.
You had long hair, mate.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
You had long hair.
I love doing these, even though because we haven't really got anything that we can put out that's catchy. The titles aren't really going to get views. These are probably my favourite pieces of content to watch back.
Yeah,
the thing is, I'm more confident on camera now. I know I can give some valid opinions, not on Blink-182 apparently, but I know that I can give some more well thought out opinions, so I can watch my videos back now pretty easily. But the podcast I just love because, like, especially when we're all on form, like when we have Harry in, we know we're going to have some funny moments.
Yeah.
But like you, especially on the podcast, you really shine because you're very honest, you're very open.
Yeah. So I remember, like, what I like about the podcast now when we look back at them, like, okay, so like the first one I did with you, I had literally not even a sleeve. I had half of this sleeve, I had a mullet, and then the one with Harry, like, my hair was longish and I didn't even have my throat done. So then every time I look back on all these podcasts, I'm like, it's crazy how you can change in a short period of time. Well, it feels like a short period of time, it's not, obviously.
Is it as big of a thing having your throat done as you'd think? I've got loads of tattoos. Really don't think tattoos should be considered job stoppers or anything like that. I've got a hand tattoo. That's probably my most risky one. Like, for me, I would just be like, once you get that, there is no going back. Yeah. How do you feel about it?
Well, obviously, when I first got it done, I was like, I looked at it and I was like, this is sick. Like, I think it's one of them where you are tattooed to the point where you get a place where it's on show all the time. And I'll admit this, that having tattoos, it's improved my confidence massively, whether it's on things like this or even just out in public or even with people. I just feel like I look better. But the only disadvantage to having this throat tattoo that I have generally realised is throughout the summer, oh my god, the public are arseholes. Like, you honestly, I went to Spain, I got so many dirty looks. Sometimes, like, I can't lie, like, I have had people come up to me and go, mate, I like your tattoo, da-da-da. And that's like, I appreciate that so much because it is generally like, it's on my body permanently. So when someone like likes it and like thinks it's cool, then it's it boosts me up. But the amount of dirty looks I get on the daily, and even in my personal life at the moment, the amount of people that don't like me just because of how I look. But you know, it is what it is. Like, at the same time, you can't be everyone's cup of tea. But the people that are obviously into tattoos, the people I know, most of my friends are either covered or have a few, and honestly, best people I could ever meet. Like,
and bro, fucking bring it in a bit closer. It looks fucking hard, and especially with your chest as well.
Yeah, because it all links in with my chest. So, yeah. Surprisingly though, the only part that was really painful on this was my under chin and the sides and collarbones. Surprisingly, the Adam's apple, it's like blacked out. So I thought it'd be a whole. You know, when you get a tattoo that's blacked out, it's just going over and over and over. And especially because this is like really thin skin, I was shitting myself. But it was the least painful part.
Blacked out tattoos, normally it's either make or break. You can have some blacked out ones and then they go numb like instantly. Like you can just tolerate it, you don't really feel much. Or it takes ages to go numb and you just feel like grinding. That's often if you get a black, like a really dark piece, like super early in a tattoo. If you've been there a couple of hours and the bits around it are tender and numb, by the time you get there, you'll be fine. It's a gnarly tattoo. Like,
the only thing that does annoy me, because what it literally all it is, it's a thing with two eyes and a massive mouth, and the amount of people that are like, is that a frog or is that a snake? Oh, I don't know, that pissed me off. It's just a monster. It's just a monster. It has no meaning. Like, I don't really have any meaningful tattoos because for me, tattoos are just fashion.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
The only ones I have are like my dogs on my leg. About it.
Yeah.
The rest of them are just things that look cool. Yeah. No, because I feel like it's a bit of a segment with the podcast that we have a little talk about tattoos. You get them on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Obviously, you guys already know this. The Outcast thing we did. Obviously, Will got his a long time ago, but when he got his, I was already like having stuff planned, and I didn't really have time for it. But
you were halfway through a sleeve.
Yeah, right. And I was like, I don't want to move on. I don't want to have a not finished part and then to go on to something else, because then in the end, you're not going to get shit done. So, but on Thursday, I'm getting mine done. Just because it's annoying me how everything's up here is all full and stuff, and all here is so neglected. Like, I'm jealous of him, like with his back and all his front. Like, I've got nothing except my chest and throat. And it's about time I got mine done, because obviously you've had yours for time.
You got a fucking sick chest piece though. I got to give him that. Like, I've just got like this patchwork stuff on my chest. I still love it, but I do look at that and I'm just like, it's dark. It's gothic, it's horror,
So like, this was my first ever tattoo, and then around, was it June or July, I can't remember, I got all this stuff done, and honestly, I'm so confused, because when I got my sternum done, so like my goat, most blessed tattoo ever, and then obviously a year later, I got my background done, most painful tattoo I've ever had in my life. It was the first tattoo where
that was when I was getting my hair chopped off, and I could hear him fucking screaming.
I was like, fuck, it was so painful.
It sounded rough.
And my tattooist thought it'd be really funny to just put an X in my nipple. That was rough.
Yeah, that stayed though. Yeah, that stayed really well.
It's so weird.
Is that still the most painful one you've ever had?
So far, yeah, my chest was awful.
See, like, my most painful one is my Jason on my back, closely followed by my ribs, which is what I'm going to next, which is terrifying.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like, I don't know why I'm scared for my stomach, probably because it's a place that I've generally never had touched. Like, when I got this sleeve done, I wasn't scared or nervous for this one, because I've had everything done. The same with my chest. Obviously the throat I was scared for, but for some reason I was confident about it.
You'll be fine, because the annoying thing is, yes, we feel the pain, absolutely, we fucking feel the pain. We sit well. That's the thing, we always get through them.
Yeah.
Like, we've never actually had to tap out.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's facts.
Been close, been close, but
I was close with my chest. Because the thing is, guys, like, the goat, obviously not the goat, but all the stuff here, from there, all the way here, was one sitting, and he did it in literally 3 hours, 4 hours?
4, yeah.
So most people generally, not to like gas ourselves up, but most people would literally tap out and be like, yeah, I'll get the other side or the bits done another session. But I just don't think it's worth it. I feel like if you're going for a session, it would be so much worth it you going through all that pain then putting splitting it to be in more pain. You rather just grit your teeth and just carry on.
Absolutely. And also, in the last sort of year, a big thing that has come up on this channel is us going to shows.
Yeah.
And like, I love making those videos. Don't know why. but I just absolutely love making them.
Well, so our next one is
Corey Taylor,
which is really soon, 9th of November. That's literally like two-ish months. So I can't wait for that. It's the closest to Slipknot we're ever gonna get, because apparently they're actually not. They're having a break. It is annoying, but at the same time, like, it's their own fault, man. Their prices are ridiculous.
I'd pay it,
and they do sell out so quick.
See, like, thing is with Slipknot, it's because of. Think when we went to see Youngblood, right? Both times, how much that, I know, like, obviously you love him. Think how much that meant to me.
Yeah.
I've idolised him for 2 years. You've idolised Slipknot your whole life.
Yeah.
And just think of how much, like, us being outside for, let's face it, probably about 12 hours for Slipknot.
I wouldn't care.
Wouldn't give a shit. Genuinely
shit.
wouldn't. I would camp outside. And it's one of those, they could sell out, I'd be like, don't worry, I'll find a ticket.
Yeah.
I'll go on a website, I'll pay 600 quid each. Generally do not give a fuck.
Yeah.
As long as we've got that memory of being there, like, but that's a good thing about Corey.
Yeah.
I think we are going to get Duality.
Yeah, because he's got like Wait and Bleed and Duality on his set list, which is a Slipknot song, so that's cool.
And I've seen videos of him doing it live. It looks great.
He puts on a show, and then obviously after that,
Bad Omens
and Bring Me the Horizon,
which you're fucking gas for, because
yeah.
I am as well. The only thing that's annoying is, talking of selling out quick, Bring Me the Horizon announced that they were putting tickets on, but it was the day before I got paid.
Yeah.
And then I had to look the day after, sold out, completely sold out. And I gave it a couple of weeks, because the resale often comes up, and everything was still sold out that was, like, really good. But then we've got, like, the seats that are often available. We're still, like, we're at the back, we're facing the stage, like, we'll have a clear view.
Yeah.
And also we're going to be in a room full of, like, not just metalheads, but people who like more extreme music. They're not just going to be sat there, are they? Like,
yeah, no.
And Bad Omens as well. That's a support act that you're very excited for.
Because recently, like, they've been out for a while, but recently they blew up a lot, and they've got that really good mix of, like, lovely vocals, and then they've got he's got such a disgusting growl. And I like that between they can have really heavy songs and then a song like Just Pretend, which, I'm sorry, you surely heard either from because you like Bad Omens or TikTok, because that's where it blew up. It was everywhere on TikTok. And
it's a good thing about TikTok. It either makes songs really annoying or brings amazing songs to a wider audience.
Yeah, so for example, Parents was already big from Youngblood. Parents was already big. TikTok made it annoying for me.
Same.
And then songs like Just Pretend, that was something that it was a good song, and then it just blew up even more on TikTok, which I can't lie, I heard it from TikTok. I hate to say it because it makes it. I hate when I find good songs on TikTok because it makes me feel like I'm just like everybody else and just listens to the mainstream bullshit.
How do you feel when you see like Slipknot songs become massive on TikTok, like Custer?
It pisses me off because Custer was actually such an underrated song off the Grey Chapter album. And
that whole album is though, because I didn't realise until the other month how much people do not like it.
I don't understand why. It's my top 3. It's one of my favourite albums because it proper brought me back into Slipknot. Because obviously when it came out in 2014, I was still pretty young, and that brought me back to like Slipknot. Because I can't lie, I got bored of All Hope Is Gone. It was just a boring album. Yeah, Custer was such like an underrated song. It was good, and then out of nowhere you just see fucking Michael Myers dancing to it on TikTok. I'm sure you've all seen it. Even doing the WAP to
and
Custer.
It's funny, but it's like they're a legendary
It's the
band.
same as Deftones.
Mm-hmm.
Deftones, were like so underground. Like they're not even popular. They're around like the same thing as Korn, Slipknot, Limp Bizkit, and Linkin Park. That's where Deftones were, and now there's like some sort of stigma to like emos that it's like good songs to have sex to, which I find very odd.
Even bands, I know like they're very different, but even bands like Ghost, it's all over TikTok because of Mary on a Cross.
I hate Ghost so much.
No, they're shit.
They look like it's one of them bands where you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. You look at them.
No, they look like a metal band.
They look heavy. I thought they were going to be like black metal or like death metal, where it's really fast, quick, and then I was like,
Mary on a Cross.
Yeah, because they did a song called Square Hammer, and I was like, it sounds like something that would be on Scooby Doo.
No, it sounds they're soft as fuck.
Yeah, no. Fuck Ghost.
No, because I remember there was a TikTok but their fans all dress up like proper goths.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was a TikTok of Harry Styles was performing somewhere, and it was the same sort of layout as Wembley. So Harry Styles was in the stadium, and then Ghosts were in the arena next door.
Oh, okay.
And there was the queue, and it was like all these like goths, and then there was the Harry Styles fans in feather boas, and I'm just like, oh,
it's like life and death.
yeah, but I'm just like, pretty sure there's more people rocking out to Kiwi than there are to fucking Ghosts.
No, because I tried to get into Ghosts because back in the day, like around 2014, AJ House of Masks really liked them. I actually collect some of their stuff.
He hates them now, though.
Yeah. Like the only song they've got good, it's called like Sirika or something, and it's actually all right. Like I only like one Ghost song, but they're just so poxy. I don't know what word to describe it, but like they try and act like they're hard. But
see, like I hate it when people are called this, but they genuinely are posers.
Oh, fat bro, the guitar. His name's like something Tobias. He was on Loudwire. You guys have probably heard of that thing. It's like where rock and metal news, and it's like one of them things where you get a random guitarist and they explain like their favourite riffs and some of the riffs they wrote. He was struggling to play his own riffs. Which is bullshit because apparently he tried to say he wrote those, but he's one of the ex-guitarists that wrote them. But he is a massive poser. He's sitting there with guitar, leather jacket, trying to act tough. But I'm like, bro, you make songs for CBeebies, bro. like it's literally, I can imagine clicking on Scooby-Doo the cartoon, bro, and hearing that as their intro.
No, fuck Ghost.
Yeah, fuck Ghost, bro.
On a related note to obviously who we're going to see, what do you think of Corey Taylor's new album? First off,
I think there's a lot of hit and miss, but the songs I do like I've only listened to it once, so I can't.
I think that's always been the same though, isn't it? Like you look at Corey solo stuff, you look at Stone Sour, there's a lot of miss on that.
Yeah.
And even Slipknot albums, like the first two, barely any misses.
I think it's the last two albums. I'd say I literally I'm like, yeah, I like that one.
But even like All Hope Is Gone has got a few. Volume 3's got a couple of skips on it.
I think it's because I've known them for longer. I might just have an attachment, even though I think All Hope Is Gone's boring compared to the rest. And I think that album just got run into the ground because they literally didn't do anything for ages. Understandable, Paul did die. I get that. Yeah. But like because All Hope Is Gone was out so long and they were touring for ages, it was just like again, like you said this in the video, like his mask, Corey's All Hope Is Gone. He wore that from like 2009, 2008,
that scene,
all the way
that scene
to
very much as the Corey mask.
And it pisses me off because for me, when I think of the Corey mask, it's the self-titled one. It's the dreadlocks.
Which I've got something very cool coming soon, which you will see him in the video for.
That's all we'll say. Like, for me with Slipknot, I get it. Obviously, as you get famous, and I've explained this to you all before, as you get famous, you're going to bring in more income and you're going to get more limelight to fame. So I get it when they with their shows, they're not doing little tiny clubs anymore where it's really intimate. Like they're doing stadiums now, like obviously. But Slipknot came from a place where they didn't have much money and like all the stuff they wore, jumpsuits, you could buy them like a hardware store. Their masks, it was all stuff that they like either bought from a shop and modified it, or just like clown's like iconic mask. Literally, he had it in his bedroom when he was a young kid, and he thought, I'd put it to use.
It's very organic, isn't it?
It's
and
all,
also
like DIY.
And it showed that they didn't have an insane budget because, like Clown especially. You look at some of the masks he wore them until they broke. They wore them out. And same with Corey with the dummy.
Yeah, he had to literally, like, for it to carry on going, he had to duct tape. Like, you can see in some shots from, like, 2000 Dynamo and, like, even, like, 1999, you can literally see sellotapes on the dreads. That's the reason they had stitching. They didn't put, like, stitches in for it to be all cool and edgy. Like, they're literally trying to, like, keep these masks alive. Because, as well, you forget that back then you didn't have, like, all these, like, really good material, so it's like latex. Once it's got heat, sweat, moisture, it rots naturally.
And also because of things like obviously horror films as well, and bands like Slipknot, they're the reason that there's so many people making masks and so many mask designers. Because you think back then, horror films, like look at Halloween.
Yeah.
It was a William Shatner mask that they bought for $1. and spray painted it white.
Yeah.
There wasn't like some grand design with it, and that was a film. Yes, it was a low budget film, but now you look at things like Terrifier, that's a low budget film. A lot of thought has gone into that look, and it is because of like those low budget films and bands like Slipknot that made mask designing be such a big thing.
Even like Jason, it's so iconic, but it's literally just a fucking hockey mask.
Yeah.
It's nothing special. Like you can get them off eBay for like 99p. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. That's why nowadays some horror films are just so shit, because they're trying to like do all this crazy gore and all these crazy shots where people are flying around and all that stuff. It's always the simple stuff that's the most sinister and the most creepy, like natural. Like, in a way, for me, Terrifier is obviously mentally gory, but at the same time, there's no special effects. It's all made.
I think that if Terrifier was made with CGI, I think that everyone would have just been like, that film's just fucked up. If you watch that, you're an actual psychopath. But when I watch Terrifier, I'm just like, fair fucking play that he did all that, like, physically, because that's genuinely impressive. If it's CGI, then I would probably be a bit like,
why have you made that?
That director is in need of help.
Yeah.
But it's just cool that it shows that you can do all these things with practical effects, and it beats CGI. Yes, it's done in a fucked up way, but it still proves the same point as things like, even stuff like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
There's been, this year especially, in music, there's been quite a lot of good stuff, and it's been quite an active year.
Yeah.
A lot of, like, my favourite people have dropped stuff, so obviously Corey's done his solo album, but there's been a lot from Bring Me the Horizon, there's been a lot from Youngblood. Slipknot did that Adderall EP. What do you think of that?
I think it's more. I think Slipknot now, like, and I do understand it. They've come to a point now where they don't need to try and constantly give their audience what they want. Because at the same time, they're on no label. They literally can do what they want. So in a way, I can understand that, because I can imagine when they had the label was like, right, we want you to make this type of music, and you can kind of see that from
All Hope Is Gone.
All Hope Is Gone. Yeah. You can see that all the way from the first, even to We Are Not Your Kind, but it's just, I guess they're experimenting now because they have freedom to do what they want. Not my cup of tea at all. I think it was absolutely shite, but again, I'm never gonna be able to hate them. Like, their newest album, for me, it was a 6 out of a 10 album, maybe even lower, to be honest. I might be just saying that because I'm being nice, but
I think when it's got highs, it's got fucking highs. Like Yen, Dying Song, Chapeltown Rag, Acidic, Warranty. Those are some good highs. And bear in mind, it's a 12-song album, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll just name 5. That's nearly half of very good songs.
That's what annoys me though. It's so rare from a certain album, because from even the first album all the way up to, I'd still say, All Hope Is Gone. There's not a song I'd like probably skip except Psychosocial. Fuck that song. It's just overplayed. I hate it.
See, like, I'm not as massive of a fan of Slipknot as Luke. Like, Luke's dedicated his life. I've got into it in the past sort of like year. I like it. I do like it.
I can understand why as well, but for me, it's not because it's a bad song, bro. It's a brilliant song. I just heard it way too much. Like, for me, it's a bit like, for example, like Smells Like Teen Spirit. It's a brilliant song, but for me, I've heard it way too much. Same as like songs like Wonderwall. Brilliant song. I've heard it too much.
Wonderwall is one of those songs. It's like when, because I'm still holding out hope that we will go and see Slipknot. Wonderwall's got the same thing that we'll have with Psychosocial and Duality, right? They might not be your favourite Slipknot songs, but when you're there in that moment, like in the crowd at Slipknot, when you're like, I push my fingers into my eyes. That'll be so good. And imagine watching Liam Gallagher do Wonderwall at fucking Reading.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. That's another good point to throw out. Next year, I don't give a fuck if the only rock band that's performing, or rock band, is Imagine Dragons. I am going to Reading next year because, bro, I just want it. I genuinely do.
If you're going, are you going to camp?
Yeah.
No, because I don't know, some people only like go for the day or whatever, or I don't know.
Well, I mean, I know I live in tremendous wealth, but I'm not doing camping. That's what you go there for, isn't it?
if it's next year, I'll consider it.
Nah, you'll come.
Oh, yeah.
You'll fucking come. One band that I genuinely think I would go to just hold a sign going, I fucking hate you. And that's the 1975, which we have slated on this channel before.
I'm sorry.
Let me just say, they've won Best Rock Band.
What?
They've won Best Rock Band.
On what?
The Brits. The 1975, you know that generic TikTok pop?
Yeah.
Best Rock Band.
That's outright. I didn't know that.
Bro, this is the same year that Slipknot put out the end so far.
Best Rock.
Bring Me the Horizon are still very active.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Because, like, have you ever been fussed about festivals?
No. Not at all. The only festival I've always wanted to go for is Download.
Yeah. And next year again, if it's a good lineup, we'll go Download.
It most likely will be. Like, the people that are always there, like Korn. I love Korn to bits.
It'll be Bring Me the Horizon again. Like,
Bring Me,
they'll have had their new
Metallica
album
always there.
And would you go see them?
Oh yeah. I hate on them just because I think like they've kind of proper frauded throughout their career.
And you only like the first stuff.
The first 3 albums are masterpieces. Well, the Black Album, Justice for All, Master of Puppets, and Kill 'Em All. Them albums, I say 4. Sorry, 4 are amazing, and then the rest, it's just copy and paste, bro. Different lyrics, but the same fucking riffs. And Lars is such a shit drummer. Like, he's so bad. Like, if you've seen clips of him live, like, and it's not like to say like he was brilliant back in the day, but it's just coming to the thing of old age. But what annoys me with him, he thinks he's the shit, but he's such a generic drummer.
Even the fans though, because I remember at Download, the fans said they were like, Metallica didn't sound good, and they did 2 sets on that lineup.
Yeah.
And they were just like, both times they didn't sound great. And considering they are still the biggest name in metal.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that is purely because they are called Metallica.
Really?
I think the name has carried them a lot.
Well, yeah, because even when like there's times I've just typed on metal just see what's new. I'll go ME and then it's Metallica just pop up.
Like that's a great name for a metal band. That is very, very smart.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the thing that musicians do well. They do use smart things. So I know I mention him a lot, but Youngblood, you think of especially TikTok of people who do hate him and will search Youngblood hate, Youngblood hated, whatever. Now he's made a song called Hated. You search Youngblood hate, guarantee that's what pops up. And Harry Styles, he was very well known for falling on stage. He made a song called Falling. Now you search Harry Styles Falling, you're just gonna get the song.
That's actually mental.
Like, it's so clever the way they do it. But talking to Youngblood, he's put some new stuff out. What do you think?
Low Life, for me, I think it's a good song, but at the same time, for me, I just find... I love it when Youngblood has that raspy voice where he's actually singing, or he's either just being like, for example, like, I don't know, Super Dead Friends, where he's kind of not rapping, but he's not singing, but he's just having a bit of like...
It's just a weird, loud mess, but it's good.
For me, the chorus is fucking cool, love the chorus. But sometimes his verses, like the stuff he was saying was sick, like great writing, but I just found it a little bit boring. But Hated is sick. I love that song because it's so true. Like obviously not obviously the personal stuff he's on about it, in the verses, but that chorus is actually so true. For you to actually want to be, this sounds all fucking corny, but I don't care. But for you to actually be yourself, you do need to get rid of people. And you know what? I've experienced that myself. For me to be myself, you have to kind of fuck people off, and half of the time you won't even realise you've got rid of them because they were just there anyway. I say, for example, like social media, I got rid of all the people that generally I know, like I know them, but I've not spoke to them in years. And people might think that, oh, why are you getting rid of them for? That's petty. But at the same time, once you do that, there's just... you can finally be yourself because...
And there's nothing different.
Yeah, there's generally nothing different. It's the same as like when you see people like following loads of people on social media and like they like your post but you don't know who they are. Do you know what I mean? It's like half the people I went to school with, like I haven't got a problem with them, but at the same time, we don't speak anymore, so there's kind of no point. And at the same time, for you to grow, you got to find new people. Like, it's the same with Will. Like, when I first started working at Mackey's, I recognised him, because obviously he was 2 years above me, right?
Yeah.
In school, which it is what it is. But at the same time, I never thought I'd be best mates with him. At the same time, you got to kind of get rid of people to gain new ones.
Yeah, it's like Jay, went to school with him, never spoke to him in school. That song for me, because I'm a little bit in reverse to what you said, I love Low Life. And like, even though that song's done pretty well, I think it should have done so much better, purely for the chorus. The chorus is
I think
class.
that's going to be a song for me that I'd rather listen to live than on my phone.
Yeah,
but then again, I'd rather listen to Hated on my phone than live.
Yeah, because Hated... Like, don't get me wrong, I think there's definitely things live in that song that we will be screaming. So like when he goes, spit beer on the kids whilst infecting their ear holes, because that ear infection thing was bullshit.
Yeah.
It was something someone made up on TikTok. The fact that he put that in, a criticism that he's had of something that wasn't even true, yeah, he spat beer on people. You look at the fans at that show, they loved it. Us, when we went to Brum, because he did it at your show that you went to.
Yeah, the one I went to, I actually, sounds bare gay, like, but I was like, I wanted him to spit on me, bro, it's fun, like, it's, and the thing is, I said to Will about this, I was like, what annoys me, people are trying to, like, cancel him because he's, like, grim and all this bullshit, but I'm sorry, the amount of, bro, Marilyn Manson, he's done shit like that, fucking Slipknot have done stuff like that.
Sex Pistols, all of them.
Any rock, punk, metal, I've kind of all done some weird grim shit, bro. Like, bro.
And also, a lot of these people that are criticising him, they're talking as if they've never had sex.
Yeah.
Like,
they're like, spitting, but you know, I swallowed kids yesterday. You know what I mean?
I was literally.
Like, I don't get that.
I was just like, these people have probably had jizz on their face.
Yeah.
Like, and you're whinging about a very attractive man spitting a bit of beer.
And he's beer as well. It's not like he full on went.
Yeah,
I can understand.
If Youngblood went, hey, you fucking know
yeah.
I would be like, this cunt.
Yeah.
But
it was beer. It's the same as you chucking it in the fucking air. How many shows have you been to and you've got beer on you? Bro, tell you now, Machine Gun Kelly, I was covered in it.
Facts.
But
and these were random cunts that were throwing it.
Yeah. And it's just.
But it's just fun, isn't it? But Hated, I liked it, but for me, it's not a highlight. Low Life for me is one of my favourites. Some of my favourite music that's come out lately is Bring Me the Horizon. They've put out some great stuff. Lost is one of the best recent songs.
I'd say it's probably one of their top 5 they've ever done in general. Like,
Definitely of singles.
I think Lost even beats songs like Shadow Mosses and like Drown and things like that are like apparently like fan relics and shit. I think that song shits on that. Most recent people that have brought out stuff that is actually sick, Slaughter to Prevail, they released a song called Viking. Very extreme now, it's like deathcore. If you've ever heard of like bands like Whitechapel or Thy Art Is Murder, very big names. Again, it's not a very big genre for obvious reasons, it's not for everybody, it's just very extreme metal, like drop tuning, crazy double bass drums.
Yeah,
and
this is Luke's
deep demonic vocals.
This is Luke's stuff because for me that stuff's just way too intense.
Knocked Loose released 2 new singles recently. Very violent band. Not them themselves, but their fans are actually violent. I'd love to see them, but at the same time, I want security near me because I've seen videos of literally them like in a mosh pit. Mosh pits are just meant to be jumping around, barging each other.
Hey, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's meant to be a mosh pit. These motherfuckers are doing this. Kicking in the. I've watched videos of people
and
getting.
And they play
clotted.
Smaller venues than they should. For that reason, to get that sort of reaction.
They're only recent thing that's like really mainstream. They was at Coachella. Which I found really weird. I saw some videos of like
Coachella was a mess.
Bro,
this year.
I saw this video of like this girl, like hoopy earrings, white dress with a drink in her hand, and Knocked Loose was on, and she was like.
Nah, Coachella.
It was so funny.
Coachella was weird because when the lineup came out, I was like, oh my god, Youngblood is playing Coachella. That's amazing. Blink-182 are headlining. That'll be incredible.
Not loose. Like, what the fuck?
But, bro, the mix. So they had stuff like Ray Shremmer, who I saw supporting Post Malone. Somebody come get her, she's dancing like a stripper. It's quite soft, catchy. They were decent, like they were pretty good, but like it's very chill, easy listening music. And like so's Youngblood and Blink-182, but I was just like, that'll be amazing. Youngblood did his first show. It was like, he was amazing. Like, he did the exact same show that he always does. The crowd were dead. It's stuff
is
like
that the stuff where you told me then they did the one the night after and
the week after. Yeah. He was like chucking beer out as he always does. But it's fucking boiling. Like, you be sound with that.
Yeah.
But and I know they turned the audio down on the audience so it sounds quieter. You couldn't hear a fucking thing. Like, and it was just, the crowd looked dead as fuck. And then he came out the next weekend and was like, you lot are a lot fucking cooler than last week.
I must admit, you're a lot fucking cooler than last weekend.
And I was just like, and that show actually looked really good. Because I remember at the end, on the end of Loner, he was like, he went, yeah. And then started throwing his stuff on the stage, and I'm just like, that's when you know Youngblood's had a good show.
Yeah.
When he goes mental at the end. The one that sounded the worst was Blink-182.
Their mix was awful. Whoever mixed Travis's drums needs firing. Like, if you heard it back, bro, it was awful.
Like, I mean, yes, it might have sounded way better live, but the way it sounded on the stream was terrible. But the boys themselves, they just didn't sound great. And I think, and you know, it's getting back to old age, I've got fucking slewed for a recent video I did where I just said that One More Time was a bit average. I think that's why their music lately sounds so overproduced. Because One More Time, it's supposed to be this little, like, acoustic, raw ballad, and
Well, you lot are just lucky I didn't review the video because I thought that song was fucking shit. And you lot can hate me for that, I don't care, I'm sorry. Blink.
The video was great.
Yeah, it was very like a lot of memorabilia and like nostalgia of like in the past, but
bro, I think I'm so right when I say this. Everyone was like, oh my god, Travis added so much into this. No, Travis Barker sounded like fucking Travis Scott.
Bro,
the auto-tune was through the roof.
It was like a dead feature. That's what it was.
Like, and I get it, he's not a vocalist, but like, are you saying that he should have that much auto-tune so he can't sing? And lad, he was just saying one more time. Like,
one more time.
Like, it's really not that much to add to it. But that song, for me, I think I liked it more than you did, but they do not sound anywhere near as like raw, organic, and like almost homemade that pop punk should sound.
Personally, for me, I think they should call it a day, but I know the reason they're making music because they're back together and they've got nothing else. The only person that's really kind of successful is Travis at the moment, because obviously he's got his own label. Like, what is her name? Olivia Rodrigo. Yeah. He's signed her.
Right, he's done stuff with everyone. Fucking Black Bear, Ian Dior, Avril Lavigne, MGK, Youngblood, Halsey, like all the big names in that genre now. He's done stuff with, and yes, they are absolute legends. They've made their best stuff. And that's the same thing that you say about Slipknot.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that I'll say about Youngblood whenever that time happens.
Obviously, yeah, because he's not new, but he's still very young and has.
But even now, I would be surprised if he made an album that's better than Weird, because he came out with Weird that is somewhat of a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like Slipknot, you still get hyped for whenever they drop.
Yeah.
But you will still admit that they have not made anything better than Iowa.
Yeah, no.
That was 22 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, bands do just have their sell-by date, and Blink-182, I think now are running a lot more on their legacy, if you like, than actual great music. Because think, when Edging came out, everyone said that was cringe.
Yeah, it was.
But it was successful, because people will still stand by them. They are one of those bands, if I saw them headlining Reading, I'd be like, sick.
Yeah.
Because they are legends, bro. And yes, they've come through a lot. So, like, I've seen Mark with his cancer, Travis with the plane crash, Tom when he went mental.
It's one of them. Like, everything has to come to an end eventually. Like, think about how many like artists now that literally are still legends, but they don't do any music. Paul McCartney, like legend, bro. Like, you can't hate on the Beatles. I don't even care what anyone says. Absolute revolutionary. Don't do anything. The same as Roger Daltrey from The Who. Like, they released one more album as The Who. But again, like, not the best, but again, they're only going to produce what they can, and not everyone's going to be in their prime forever, but at the same time, they're still going to be legends.
Yeah, go out on a high.
Yeah.
Like that, and you'll be remembered better for it.
But I think people sometimes have way too much attachment to that person. For example, the comments of Blink-182, because people still hold on to that old youth that they had, they get way too, like, offended. Like, when someone said to me, oh yeah, Slipknot's last album was shit, I can't keep that love I have for them and like kind of lie and like be kind of deluded to be like, oh no, it was sick. Just because you love them, you've got to be honest about it. And yeah, Slipknot's last album was pretty mid, and I'd say one of the biggest Slipknot fans. I don't even care, I'll say it.
His fucking arm. Don't you dare give him shit, he's one of the biggest fans. And I think that's something that a lot of people just need to admit, is that sometimes bands do just wear off. Their voices get older, they get older, and also they run out of stories to write. Because like all those things in One More Time, everyone knows. Like, there's nothing new in it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's flashbacks. It's not like, oh my god, this happened. Oh my god, that is mental. Like, it's just a look back over the years, and like it's cool, but people get very, very angry about it.
Yeah.
The stuff that's coming, I assume there'll be more tattoo videos. There'll be more reaction videos. We've got a couple of videos lined up that we're gonna do.
Yeah.
There'll be videos of concerts. Hopefully, I'll book Reading whenever it goes on sale. Just some cool things going up. This is a bit of a chill podcast, just us giving a few thoughts. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought of it, and we'll see you very soon. See you later.